Chadron State College retirees are being recognized for their years of service to the college. Dr. Patti Blundell, Professor of Education. A career in education has taken Chadron State College education professor Dr. Patti Blundell from teaching in a one-room country school to instructing graduate students in the intricacies of curriculum, assessment, and school law via the Internet. A native of Dawes County, Blundell earned a bachelor's degree in family and consumer science education from the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. She then took a job as a K-8 country school teacher for a few years. After taking a break from outside employment while her own children were young, Blundell started work at CSC in 1986 as a vocational education assistant. She later earned her Ph.D. in curriculum instruction and administration from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Retirement plans for Blundell and her husband, Pete Romanenko, include a move to Rapid City, where her daughter Joy and family live, visits to her other daughter Angie and family in Harrisburg, South Dakota, and more international travel, including to Hong Kong, where her son, Mike, is a school administrator. She has 4 grandchildren. Dr. August Bruehlman, Professor of Business. For the past 15 years, the practical knowledge from Dr. August Bruehlman's earlier career in business has helped enrich the educational experience of students in Chadron State College's Business Academy. Bringing first-hand knowledge and experience to business classes and helping MBA students develop personally and professionally have been highlights of teaching at CSC, said Bruehlman, who is retiring this year. Bruehlman completed his bachelor's degree in industrial education at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville and master's and doctorates at Colorado State University. Before joining the CSC faculty in 2005, he had executive positions at an electronics manufacturing company in Colorado. At CSC, Bruehlman primarily taught MBA courses and prized his part in helping increase enrollment in the Business Academy. Bruehlman's wife, Maggie Smith-Bruehlman, the director of CSC's Upward Bound program for the past decade, is also retiring this year. An avid outdoor enthusiast, Bruehlman's future plans are to live the adventure life in the mountains of Colorado. Dr. Maggie Smith-Bruehlman, Director, Upward Bound. Dr. Maggie Smith-Bruehlman is retiring after 11 years as director of Chadron State College's Upward Bound program. The federally funded TRIO program is designed to support low-income, first-generation teenagers with academic advising, ACT test preparation, tutoring, and a residential 4-week summer program at CSC. Throughout the year, students take trips to Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado college campuses and cultural sites. At the conclusion of the summer program, Smith-Bruehlman and other chaperones, including summer faculty and CSC student leaders, accompany the group. When she moved to Chadron in 2008, Dr. Norma Neely suggested that Smith-Bruehlman teach yoga. In 2010, as a reward to herself for completing a doctorate in curriculum and instruction from the University of Wyoming, Smith-Bruehlman spent 3 weeks in Costa Rica, earning her yoga certification. Since then, she has taught yoga courses at CSC. Her bachelor's and master's degrees in education are from Colorado State University. Her retirement plans include teaching yoga when she returns to Colorado with her husband, Dr. Augie Bruehlman, who is also retiring from the Business Academy faculty. Bryan Enos, Maintenance Repair Worker 2. Bryan Enos started as a Maintenance Repair Worker 2 at Chadron State College on August 1, 2005. He retired July 5, 2019, and moved to California to be near his elderly mother. Enos was well respected by his colleagues. Maintenance manager Todd Bowman said Enos was friendly, conscientious, and helpful. Maintenance Repair Worker 4, Silas Kern, said Enos was well liked, a hard worker, and proud to be part of the CSC community. Ground Supervisor Lucinda Mays said Enos took a real interest in campus horticulture. She said he planted, pruned, and cared for plantings across campus. He helped with preparing the planting beds at the Mari Sandoz High Plains Heritage Center in 2006 by removing bluegrass sod to make room for native plant collections. He repaired and installed irrigation systems throughout the landscape for many years, and spent several years taking care of the college softball field and surrounding area. Janet Hartman, Office Assistant 3. Janet Hartman, Office Assistant 3 in Internship and Career Services, is retiring June 30th after working more than 25 years at Chadron State College. Although the focus of her work has always been supporting students who are seeking jobs after graduation, the name and location of the department where Hartman worked has changed many times. As part of her duties, Hartman organized and helped host Teacher Interview Day and 2 career fairs each year. She is also the point of contact for schools and businesses interested in hiring CSC graduates. Hartman started her employment with Chadron State College working with the Assistant Vice President of Academic Affairs involving a grant program. Later, she worked for Career Services. She compiled and maintained credential files, mainly for education majors. She also surveyed students for the college's annual placement report and composed the vacancy bulletin, which was a hard copy document she photocopied, labeled, and mailed to all students who paid to be on the distribution list. Hartman plans to spend time during retirement with her family and traveling, along with gardening and possibly treasure hunting. Con Marshall, Director of Information Services. Con Marshall served as Chadron State College's Director of Information Services and Sports Information for nearly 4 decades before retiring the first time in 2007. Following that career change, Marshall worked as an Information Services Officer in a part-time role before retiring the second time at the end of 2019. Although Marshall has stepped down, he plans to volunteer and stay involved with the activities on campus while working on several larger projects. Marshall, a native of Chadron and a graduate of Chadron State, has been involved with the college for almost his entire professional life. During that time, he has produced volumes of news stories and photographs, in addition to frequently serving as a resource for anyone looking for information about CSC, its athletic programs, and the history of the surrounding region. In the late 1990s, Chadron State named a facility, the Elliott Field Press Box, in Marshall's honor. He has been honored with the college's Distinguished Service Award, spoken at commencement, and is a member of several athletic halls of fame. Marshall and his wife Peggy, who helped prepare elementary education teachers at Chadron State before her retirement in 2011, have 3 adult children and 8 grandchildren. Dr. Hank McCallum, Associate Professor of Social Science. As Dr. Hank McCallum, an associate professor who will retire in May after 11 years at CSC, reflects on his 41 years as a professional educator, he is content that his career aligned with his love for students. McCallum earned his bachelor's degree in recreation and master's in special education from Lynchburg College in Virginia. He completed additional graduate studies in education at the University of Virginia. After moving to Colorado with his wife Janice and sons Doug and Greg, he earned his doctorate in special education administration from the University of Northern Colorado and completed postdoctoral studies in education leadership and administration at Colorado State University. McCallum and his wife plan to retire in Virginia. McCallum would like to return to working with at-risk teens. He is also interested in motorcycle ministries. Their younger son, Greg, graduates from CSC in May and will be commissioned a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. Their older son, Doug, is stationed in Fairbanks on his 3rd tour in the military after serving in Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Dr. Charles Snare, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Charles Snare, Chadron State College's former Vice President for Academic Affairs, retired in January 2020. Snare came to CSC in 2006 and was a dean for 6 years. In January 2012, he was named the Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs. In July of that year, his interim tag was removed. Snare's primary role as the college's senior academic administrator positioned him well to lead the college's 2017 reaffirmation through the Higher Learning Commission. The HLC visiting team noticed the campus-wide pervasiveness of the collaborative approach. Snare has been involved with the institution's strategic planning, orchestrating the master academic plan as the centerpiece of the college's strategic plan, fostering a transformation of the King Library to a learning commons, and facilitating the development of the Teaching and Learning Center and Essential Studies program. Snare also chaired many committees at the college dedicated to improving collaboration, communication, and leadership development. Snare, a native of Ohio who lives in Chadron with his wife Karen, earned his bachelor's degree in psychology from Antioch College at Yellow Springs, Ohio, and his master's and doctor's degrees in political science from The Ohio State University. He said he and Karen plan to travel extensively in retirement. Dee Dee Turman, custodian. In a 41-year career at Chadron State College that has included stints as groundskeeper, painter, and custodian, Dee Dee Turman has gotten to know the campus and its buildings inside and out. While being part of multiple campus improvements over the years has been rewarding, Turman said the thing she'll remember best after retiring at the end of July will be the connections she has made with CSC athletes and coaches. Originally from Virginia, Turman moved in 8th grade to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where she participated in sports, graduated from high school, and met her husband, Jerry, a native of Hay Springs. Turman started her career at Chadron State as a groundskeeper, a job that included mowing and watering lawns and trimming trees, among other tasks. About 20 years ago, Turman transferred to the position of custodian for the athletic department in Armstrong. Turman's retirement plans include playing golf, more travel in the camper with her husband, who is already retired, and visits to their son Jerry Jr. in Hay Springs and daughters Jamie in Cambridge and Barb in Sydney. The couple have 7 grandchildren to keep track of as well. Dr. Beth Wentworth, Professor of Mathematics. Dr. Beth Wentworth, a North Dakota native with a doctorate from the University of Minnesota, joined the CSC faculty in 2004. She earned a master's degree in 1998 from Northern State University and a bachelor's in elementary math education from Minot State University in 1972. Wentworth has been described as a cheerleader for her students, and she embraces that portrayal. Unsurprisingly, she wants her math education students to also advocate and mentor their pupils. Wentworth's reputation at CSC is in part linked to the outreach programs she helped establish for elementary and middle school students. In 2010, she proposed a collaborative program with Chadron Public Schools, and since then, CSC students majoring in elementary and middle school math education have been helping area youth strengthen their math skills during the school day and after school. In 2018, Wentworth's innovative teaching techniques, devotion, and commitment to her career were recognized by her peers when she received the Milton W. Beckman Lifetime Achievement Award at the Nebraska Association of Teachers of Mathematics annual conference. Wentworth and her late husband, John, have 2 adult children and 4 grandchildren. LaWayne Zeller, Director of Field Experiences, Certification Officer. After more than a decade of service to Chadron State College, Director of Field Experience LaWayne Zeller is set to retire at the beginning of July. She has worked in Chadron State College's Education Department since 2009, as the Certification Officer since 2010, and most recently as the Director of Field Experience. Zeller graduated from Chadron State with a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education degree in 1980 and a Master of Science in Education Administration in 1992. As a Certification Officer, Zeller was heavily involved with education accrediting bodies such as the National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education and the Council for the Accreditation of Educator Preparation. She was a member of 2 different accreditation teams and believes working on accreditation is one way to understand strengths and needs of the education program. Retirement plans for Zeller include moving to Iowa with her husband, Doug, to be closer to their grandchildren. She said she plans to watch many sunrises with a cup of coffee as she plans for the day. She also wants to raise a garden and get in the kitchen to pursue her love of cooking. Chadron State College would like to say thank you to the following employees for their years of service to the institution. The Eagle Impact Award provides students the opportunity to honor and acknowledge the employees who have positively impacted them. Students could submit recognitions for any employee based on 3 criteria: inspiring, supporting, empowering. And one winner was chosen from each employee group: faculty, professional staff, and support staff. In their nominations, students described how they were impacted based on that criteria. The Eagle Impact Committee, comprised of current students, voted based on the content and level of impact described in the submission. The winners of the Eagle Impact Recognition Program for 2020 are Marcus Jones, Assistant Professor of English, LaWayne Zeller, Director of Field Experiences and Certification Officer in the Education Program, and Christavia Strathide, Office Assistant 2 in Human Resources.